Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited because today we are going to be trying out and swatching some of the new Colourpop for Target collection. And funny story with this stuff, if you guys have been watching on my social media, like my Instagram stories, I'm always posting stuff, and I did a little sneak peek YouTube video. I actually stumbled upon this collection on accident early, before it was even announced this was going to happen. So I was randomly in Target on Monday, checking out the holiday sets, looking for the new Tree Hut scrubs, and in this little cart thing, they had a few of these Colourpop for Target sets, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? What's going on? I hadn't heard anything about it, so I didn't want to post anything. I didn't want to put it on my stories because I didn't want to be the one to break the announcement, you know, because like that's for Colourpop to do. And then later that day, Trend Mood actually ended up kind of sneak peeking it. So then the news broke out. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just film some content with this stuff. But yeah, I just saw a few things that Monday. And then when I went into another Target yesterday, they have the full collection out, and it wasn't supposed to be out quite yet, but I guess some stores are trying to get a head start on putting stuff out because they have tons of new holiday stuff to put out. So I think they're just trying to get ahead of schedule. But yeah, I did do a little sneak peek in my last Target Shop With Me video going over the collection, and I decided to go ahead and buy some things because a lot of you guys had questions about it and wanted to see it. So I didn't pick up everything, but I picked up quite a bit, and I did pick up all the eyeshadow palettes because I feel like that's probably the most exciting to a lot of you guys, including myself. I do have the prices and everything. This is launching. It should be on November 6th, I believe, in stores and online on Target. I think it is going to be in most stores, and I don't know if this is just a round one, if they will be doing more with it, but these are kind of exclusive sets. There is some repeat shades, but I think for the most part the eyeshadow palettes for sure are new palettes. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at the eyeshadow palettes first. The first one we have, this one is called Send Nudes. I did do close-ups of these with the packaging and everything, so these are exclusive palettes for Target. This one is kind of a pretty simple warm neutral eyeshadow palette here with a mix of shimmers and mattes. I will go ahead and insert the swatches for you guys too of all of these. And these are going to retail for $14, which is pretty standard for their 9 pans. The next one we have, this one is a fun kind of purpley palette. This one is called Vibe Check. So again, mixture of shimmers, mattes. They're all kind of the same matte formula and the same shimmer formula. There's no like super shock shadows in these and no glitters in these. This one has kind of your pinks and purples and then some more neutral purple leaning mattes. We also have this palette, the Muse Moment, and this one's kind of fun. I feel like it's more unique. This one has peach in there. There's some neutrals and some greens, so you can work in these different rows if you want to go for that color scheme, or you can mix and match. I know the peach and green has been really trendy lately, especially with Natasha Denona releasing her retro glam palette very soon. So I thought this one would be a really fun one and pretty unique to Colourpop. And then we have Truly Iconic, and this one has more of your cool tones. It's very icy and smoky. Really pretty shades. Again, a mixture of mattes and shimmers in here. This one does have a couple mattes with the little glitter specks in it. So those are your eyeshadows. Now I did pick up just one of the Super Shock duos. I really didn't feel like I needed a lot of them. I just wanted to get this one because I thought it was super pretty, but I have so many Colourpop Super Shocks. Now I'm pretty sure with most of these little sets, these are already existing shades in the line, because when I looked these up, these already exist on the Colourpop site, so they just kind of took some of their best sellers and put them in a kit. So I still love these, and I really didn't double check to make sure I didn't have the duplicates already, but oh well. Let me go ahead and swatch these for you. So Moon Daisy is this gorgeous like icy purple. It almost looks duochrome a little bit. And here is a swatch of it. It's a little sheer, but I feel like that's going to be such a pretty topper to put on your eyeshadows. Then we have Ice Dream, which is also kind of a shifty one. It's like a pearlescent, but it has some pink shift to it. So here they are swatched. I did pick up this Color Sticks duo set as well. I thought the shades in here were so fun. So we have this blue, and it's called Donut Break. It's a little bright, brighter than I thought. And this silver one, this is called Clownin'. So that's the Work It set. I did not see either of those colors on the Colourpop site, so those are maybe new shades. Next, I picked up this liner set. There was this nude set and also a red set. Again, if you want to see literally everything in the line, just like the looks of it, then definitely check out my Target video. So with this one, I looked these up on the Colourpop site with the colors included, and I found Love Bug, but I didn't find the other two, Hella and Good and Plenty. So I don't know if some of these are new and some of these are older, but you guys will have to let me know if you do recognize the name or if you have one in your collection, but I'll go ahead and swatch them for you. So again, this is the neutral set, but it is a really nice array of colors because I feel like these are a little more darker leaning, so perfect for fall. So this gorgeous shade is Hella. Then this rosy shade is Good and Plenty. And then we have Love Bug, which is the already existing one that I could find. And those are the three nudes, which are pretty dark nudes. The reds one is even darker than that, but I feel like these are great tones that go with a lot of different lipsticks. Now this set was, I believe, $14. This Colourpop Super Shock set was $10. And then the last thing I picked up was this Lippie Sticks trio as well, and if you know, you know. And I looked these up on the Colourpop site, and these are all existing shades already. Now I really like the Lippie Sticks. They are so comfortable, and they give off a little bit of a shine to the lips. They're very moisturizing, and they are exactly what they are named, Lippie Sticks. So let me go ahead and share these with swatches. Firstly, we have Brink, which is a little more pink leaning here. It's rosy. Next, we have the shade Parker, and I actually have this one on my lips right now. Really pretty color. Nice neutral. And then we have Ziggy. So these are really pretty, I feel like, fall neutral shades. Gorgeous colors. I absolutely love these. So this little set was $18 for the 3 Lippie Sticks. So that's a look into what I bought. Again, I really didn't need everything because a lot of this stuff is things that already exist, so definitely double check what you have in your collection. But I feel like these are so fun. The kits are so cute. I love that you can find these at Target now, so it makes it that easier to get Colourpop if you don't like ordering from their site. And I'm curious to see if they do anything else with this collection, if they're going to be having more collections at Target, or if this is just a holiday thing. We'll have to see what Colourpop says because I really don't know. So I did go ahead and do 4 looks with each of the palettes for you because I really wanted to test out the formula and see if it's just as good as the normal Colourpop formula. So we will be testing them out. I'm kind of doing some basic looks, so don't expect anything over the top, but just some easy looks that you guys can replicate at home. So let's get into that. Okay, so the first palette we're going to start out with here is the Send Nudes palette, which is kind of your basic warmer neutrals. I'm going to take the shade Yes Please and place this in the crease. Then we'll take a little bit of Love Ya to build that up just a little darker. And then we'll grab No Tea for the outer corner. See how dark this one gets? Actually pretty nice. The mattes in here are really good. For lower lash line, we'll use No Shade. Next, we're going to take Here For It and place this on the lid, and adding a bit of Bare All in the inner corner. Okay, so here is the eye look for the Send Nudes palette here. I feel like this one performed pretty good in my opinion. Just a really nice everyday kind of neutral look. Okay, so now for the more colorful palettes, I am going to do one on each eye here just to make it a little easier on myself. So we're going to go with the purpley palette here, Vibe Check. For this one, let's start off with Popped Off in the crease. It's like a very soft lavender, so we'll see how it shows up. It's pretty light, so I'm doing a double layer here. There's that if you're wondering how that looks. I am gonna kind of go over it though and use Big Mood. It's a little more mauve-y, so it will change the color a bit. But I feel like they're kind of mixing together and making it look a bit more purpley. I'm kind of using the same technique for all looks here. Let's tap into Friday Night. I feel like sometimes Colourpop can struggle with purples. This one seems to be pretty good. I am going to take Big Mood on my lower lash line. And for the lid, Let's do the Sweet Fantasy. We'll do that kind of in the center. That one's a little more subtle than I thought it was going to be. I honestly thought it would have just a bit more punch, kind of layering it here. And then we'll take the Go Bestie in the inner portion. I did add just a little bit of some fixing spray on my brush here, just to see if that will kind of bring out some more shimmer, which it did a little bit, but it's definitely not as shimmery as I expected it to be. And just for fun, I'm gonna grab a little bit of Like Literally just to see what this will do. Kind of made the purple pop just a bit more. Okay, let's do the other eye now with the Muse Moment palette. For this one, we're gonna start with Totally Valid and then add Mad Cute. Let's try mixing the green. I don't know about this. Let's do No Cap in the outer corner. I'm just kind of packing that on with a different brush here to get the pigment, because it kind of looks weird if it mixes with the orange. All right, let's do a little bit of Not a Player. This green on the lid. Really pretty green, honestly. On the lower lash line, I'm gonna use Mad Cute to kind of bring out more of the orange, which is kind of turning more brown because there's a little green and now it's mixing together. And then I am gonna go ahead and use this unicorn shade, and I'm just gonna like take this all across the whole eye. So we're gonna start in the inner and bring it in over top of the green. All right, so here's the looks here. We got Vibe Check over here with the purples, and then the Muse Moment on this side. All right, we got one more palette to try out, which is the Truly Iconic, and I'll go ahead and do this one on both eyes, and this will be the look we're wearing in the video. Just because I feel like maybe this has really pretty icy colors, so maybe this is gonna be my favorite. We'll see. I'm gonna go in with Girlfriend in the crease. A really pretty cool tone, taupey shade. Let's add a little bit of this mashup color. It's kind of a gray with some shimmer in there. I'm gonna use that same shade on my lower lash line. This one does have quite a bit of fallout here, so hopefully it doesn't make a huge mess. And I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of Let's Do It, this dark kind of black shade. I haven't tried this yet, but I do want to put this in the outer corner as well. This one seems to be blending out nicely. I'm gonna have to add a second layer just to kind of get more pigment, just because it is looking more gray on the first layer. That's a pretty good black. All right, for the shimmers, I kind of want to play, let's do a little bit of Ice Rink. And then I'm going to mix this kind of icy blue in Beluga. I love these icy tones. They show up so nice. So here is the finished eyes for the Truly Iconic palette. Alright guys, so that's the looks and swatches and everything you need to know. Now let's talk about my thoughts or first impressions on this collection. First, I know you guys are wondering, is this quality the same as the typical Colourpop quality? And I would say it's pretty close, but I feel like Colourpop in general, they just have hit and miss palettes, and that's just how it is, especially with their eyeshadows. So it's kind of hard to say, because I feel like I had a couple really good ones and then a couple that were just like, okay. And like, you know, I swatched them and I swatched some of my older palettes, and maybe I could see a couple differences here and there in some of the shimmers with like the opacity, but again, I just feel like it's already hit or miss with so much of their stuff, and I feel like these palettes can be hit or miss as well. But honestly, my top two were definitely the neutral-ish palettes. I didn't care for the colored ones as much just because I have seen them do more vibrant shimmers, and some of the ones in this Vibe Check were just a little bit see-through and not fully opaque. And then the Muse, this was nice. Like, I feel like the shimmers in here were good. This is just a harder color story for me to play with. So my top two, definitely Truly Iconic is number one. I felt like this was an amazing palette. It felt like normal Colourpop quality to me. Gorgeous metallic shimmers and the mattes blended really nice. And then the Send Nudes, this one performed well too, but of course I feel like they have this color story a lot and it's a pretty common one. You could probably already have a dupe in your collection of this one. Speaking of dupes, let's just do a quick comparison for the Send Nudes palette. I feel like there's probably other ones I'm missing here, but I just grabbed a couple to compare, and I feel like the closest is going to be the Set in Stone palette from them, because these are both very warm neutrals. And I definitely think you can get similar looks from You're So Golden as well. This just has a ton of colors in it, so you're bound to have repeats if you own these. I know a lot of you guys are going to wonder about Going Coconuts, but I feel like Going Coconuts is actually a lot cooler than the Send Nudes. So these palettes, these new ones, actually remind me a ton of these older monochromatic Colourpop palettes with like the formula and everything. Now the Muse Moment has a little bit more of a unique color story, but I feel like it's similar to the Colourpop Getting Fresh a little bit. The greens in here are definitely darker, but this kind of has the same vibes of limes and peachy colors, so I guess it's not an exact dupe by any means. And then I grabbed my Lizzie McGuire, What Dreams Are Made Of. I don't feel like they match up exactly either, so this is definitely the most unique palette of the four. For Vibe Check, there's definitely some similar purple palettes. The ones that I grabbed just off the top of my head is this one. This is Coast is Clear. These two looked kind of similar to me. It doesn't have as deep purples as the Vibe Check though. And then I grabbed my All Amethyst. There is some differences here. I feel like All Amethyst has some more unique shimmers, but the mattes, you know, they're pretty similar. And I grabbed the new Enchanted, which I did a review on as well, so you guys could see this one next to it as well, just for reference. And then the Truly Iconic palette, right away when I did this look, it reminded me a little bit of the Star Wars palette. Now I feel like the Star Wars definitely has some more unique shades, but just the whole icy vibe, it reminded me of a look I did with this one. So I feel like it kind of has those lighter tones plus some additional ones in the Star Wars. And then I grabbed my Twist of Slate palette, which is definitely a more cool toned palette that kind of matches up with the Truly Iconic. And I also just wanted to show these next to each other. This is the Nets NBA palette here. I wanted to show those as well because this kind of has some blue toned silvers in there. So that's kind of an overview of the eyeshadow palettes. I feel like the sets are really nice too, but again, double check and make sure you don't have the shades already that are in the sets. I did want to mention, I felt like, I don't know, maybe I just haven't tried Colourpop's lip liners in a while, but I feel like these new lip liners in the collection are more creamy than their other ones because they just kind of like glided on a little too easily. And I feel like some of my other Colourpop liners with the pencil definitely are a different formula. Maybe since these are a little different, they just seem more creamy than the other ones that I have. But I mean, I love the colors. The lippy sticks feel the same to me in the color sticks as well. So I really don't have much to say with that stuff. I really just kind of want to give my thoughts on the eyeshadow palettes. But overall, I think this is super fun. Let me know if you guys will be picking any of this stuff up. Again, it should be available on November 6th, I think online and in stores on Target. I love that they're branching out into some more stores. I don't know if you guys remember this, but do you guys remember when Colourpop was at Sephora for a very short time? That was so random. That was a long time ago, but it just kind of popped into my head. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this collection down below and what you're going to be grabbing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.